Today's lesson is lesson 103 on volume. So the units we use to measure with, if I want to measure a line, I just use units, okay? So that could be inches, feet, yards, okay? If I want to measure area, I use square units. For example, like inches squared, feet squared, or a yard squared. If I want to measure volume, I'm going to have to use cubic units, okay? So that's going to be, you would write out cubic inches, or you could write inches cubed, okay? So an example of a unit might be used to measure. So if I wanted to measure the amount of molding around the room, that's that bottom baseboard that like goes around an entire room, I would want to probably use unit segments. And those would probably be measured in feet, possibly yards. Okay? If I wanted to know how much carpet was on the floor, I would want to use feet squared. Okay? Because that's area. The carpet covers the whole center. If I wanted to know the maximum storage capacity, that's how much I could fill this room with, I would use feet cubed, because that's volume, or cubic feet. To find a volume of an object, we calculate the number of cubic units of space the object occupies. Okay? And we do that by multiplying length times width times height. The length is usually at the front, the width is the one that kind of pokes back, and the height, of course, is how tall the object is. So here, it asks, what is the volume of this rectangular solid? Since it's broken up into pieces, I could count. I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes on this top row. So that means there has to be 6 cubes on the bottom row, though some are hidden. So that means this has to be 12 cubic centimeters. Now I can double check that by doing the length times width times height. So my length is 2, my width is 3, and my height is 2. So 2 times 3 times 2. 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12. So my answer is going to be 12 cubic centimeters. For this solid, we're going to use the length times width times height again. So length is 2, width is 4, and height is 3. So the volume equals 2 times 4 times 3. Okay. 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 is 24 inches cubed. Or you can write out cubic inches. Either one's fine for your answer. All right, this next question says, Emma keeps the quilt she makes in a sturdy cardboard box. She plans to cover the top of the box with fabric. Choose a formula and use it to describe how much fabric she needs. Since she's only covering the top of this box, we're going to want to use the area formula, which is length times width. Okay. Now the length of the top is the same as the length down here. So that's going to be 36 times the width is still the width, top and bottom, times 24. 36 times 24 is 864 inches squared, because this is area. The second question says, how much space is inside the box? So this is asking, how much can I fill this box full of? Okay. So since I'm filling it up, that's going to be the volume, which is length times width times height. So that's going to be 36 times 24 times 24. All those multiplied equals 20,736 cubic inches, or inches cubed. For the last question, it says, as Dion ate breakfast, he estimated the volume of the cereal box. What is the approximate volume of the cereal box? Again, volume equals length times width times height. Since I'm looking for an approximate, I can round all these numbers. So the 12 and 1/8 is going to round to 12. The 7 7/8 is going to round to 8, and the 2 3/4 will round to 3. So I end up with the length, 8 inches, times width, 3 inches, times height, 12 inches. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 times 12 is 288 cubic inches. Okay, and that's it for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.